Okay, welcome to this week's Market Snapshot. What has happened in the Northern Virginia real estate market in the last 7 days in under 5 minutes. Here we go. So this one actually will be under 5 minutes because I don't have the contract trends from Cardinal Title. So we may be getting that information either later today or Monday, but I want to go ahead and get this report out to you guys. Keep in mind as we're going through the statistics on this, that this is the statistics for the last 7 days, and also keep in mind that there was a holiday on Monday, so that's going to affect the transaction totals, and you'll see that in the numbers. So let's go ahead and dive into this. So as always, our black line is going to be our buyer activity or our demand. Those are going to be the contracts that the properties that went under contract in the last 7 days. And then our teal line here, my mouse moving, our teal line here is going to be the inventory. So we're seeing inventory, which is our supply. We're seeing that it's staying fairly steady, but it's declining a little bit, but fairly steady. It's still significantly higher this time of year than it was this time last year. And then buyer activity, you can see we had a dip in the last 7 days. That could be because of the holiday week. So a lot of people may have been out of town over the weekend. So we'll see what that does next week. But even still, that buyer activity right here it's a little bit lower than where it was last year at this time. And I'm not sure where the holiday fell last year, if it was the same weekend or not. So with the increased inventory compared to last year and then the decrease in buyer activity, that puts us into a situation where supply and demand are actually pretty equal, or they were pretty equal over the last 7 days. And so what that means is when you go in here and you try to compare this normal market would be a gray line right here. Seller's market is anything above that line, and buyer's market is anything below. You can see that we dip back down to a normal market. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens over the next 7 days to see if that buyer activity picks back up, or if maybe we're trending towards a little bit of a quieter buyer activity for as we go into the fall. I kind of expect it to pick back up. The interest rates have ticked down a little bit the last couple of days. There's anticipation of another rate cut coming. So usually the interest rates, if they're going to go down, they go down a little bit before the Feds meet and make the rate cut. So we should see those interest rates starting to tick down. So I think that's going to boost that buyer activity back up. But we'll see. We'll just have to keep an eye on it and see what happens. So buyers, I know I say this a lot, but if you are a buyer and you're considering getting out there and you're worried about what the perfect time to buy is, now is a good time, because a lot of buyers have pulled back either because of the holidays or also because of the government shutdown. So there's less competition out there. You're still going to, probably end up paying a full market price. Over half the properties are still going over asking price or at asking price. But there are some opportunities on some properties that have been sitting for a little while as well. So it's a much more buyer-friendly market right now. And sellers, as long as you're willing to put forth the effort to prepare your property correctly and put it on at the right price, then you can still get top market value for your property as well. So there's some challenges on the buy side and the sales side in this current market that need to be navigated to do this successfully, but it's still the capability for a good transaction on both sides is still there. So if you would like to sit down with us, have us go through your personal scenario with you, either the buy side or the sale side, Kelly and I'd be happy to do that. Reach out to us at 703-783-2143, and we'll see you next week on the next snapshot. Have a great week out there.